Hi everyone, I want to talk to you about social media today. One of the things that I've been hearing a lot in the event industry lately is that views are down, likes are down, not a lot of people are commenting. However, more and more professionals in the industry are booking events through social media, through the DMs. So you might see that your views are down, that the numbers are down from your social media, but more people are looking to know more about your services through there. That they're not liking, it doesn't mean that they're not liking it like giving you hearts on your reels, but that doesn't mean that they're not looking at your stuff on social media. And nowadays, I believe that whether you have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok pages, one of the first places where a client goes to know more about your work, your services is social media. All of those pages, they might go, and if they already went to your website, they probably go to your Instagram page, and then if you have more than one of the social media pages, they go to every single one of them to see if they see something different, or if the information that you gave them matches, that the services that you're providing are going to match what they're looking for. So, looking at that, I want to talk to you about that. There's a couple of things that I want to mention before I go into um, how you can book more events through DMs, but I want to make sure that first you are aware of things. If more people are looking at your social media to know more about your services, please, please, please make sure that people know right away what you're selling. I did social media audit for a couple of students last week, and I went through their pages, and when we check all of the stuff, we noticed a couple of things that could be improved. But then talking about that, we went to see a few examples of other people's pages, not necessarily that they're in the event industry, and they didn't even have a place or the place their service. I didn't know if they were in Kansas, Ontario, Canada, Mexico. Like I didn't know the service area until I went to their information. I found out their phone number, and by their phone number, I can decipher the area code and their location. But that's one of the things that you should have there right away, because if you're a balloon artist that is in Utah, you and then somebody that is in Denver are looking at your services, how are they know how do they know that you service their area? So please have, if you have a specific city, if you have a county, if you go by area codes, by the telephone numbers, whatever it is, but please put on there the service area that you're in, because a client should not have to go through your whole page to know your service area. For example, my business name is very common. So if I only type dream decorations, it might show up in California and then in Massachusetts and then in Chicago. So it might show a couple of pages. I know that I put a SAC in mine so the people know that it's in my city, but not everybody has that. So first, check that you somehow tell people the service area that you are in. Second, have them a way to contact you. Many of you don't have a phone number, an email, or a website on there. So if Instagram or TikTok is the only way they can contact you, um, they might skip it, or they might think that it's a fake account, or they might think that you're new, even though you have been years in the industry. So beware of that as well. Have a form or a way to contact you. It doesn't necessarily has to be a contact form on there. And then another one is, yes, we all do events, we all do quinceañeras and weddings and birthdays. But if you are specific to a style, like if you only do weddings, have it on there. So then that way you don't get contacts for birthdays. If you only do kids events, if you only do children parties, then have that on there, so that way people don't contact you for adult parties or weddings or things like that. So that's another thing to have on there. And then the last one is, if you offer more than one service, let's say that you are I put this example, I said this example in my stories, but if you are a venue, but you also offer catering, and if you also offer photography, then explain that. Says, okay, my main thing is that I'm a venue, but then I provide these other services. Like if you're a designer, maybe you're a designer, a decorator, but you also provide photography. Yeah, that could be one. So put that on there. Yes, I am a decorator, a designer, but I also provide photography. Or if you are a designer, but you do also desserts, put that on there. So the client goes, maybe because probably, let's say, you're a designer, a decorator, a balloon artist, and you also do desserts. A client might have known about you because of your desserts, and if they go to your page and they only see pictures of balloons, they're gonna be a little bit confused about the services that you offer. But if right away in one of the posts, in one of the highlights, in your bio, it says I do balloons, desserts and backdrops, then they'll know, okay, I'm in the right place. I just didn't know they offer so many services or these many services. So this is like a quick recap of what you should have on your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook pages, social media pages, but beware of all these small details that can make a client, if a client goes to your page and they don't see where your services are, which city or what state you're in, they might go like, okay, I'm in the wrong page. I'm just gonna keep going. Or yeah, I don't even know, this could be a fake page, and they might just skip it and go to the next vendor because they're not seeing this important, very vital information that you just don't have on there. All right. So now I'm looking at my notes on my phone, and I know that a couple of you ask, okay, what if a client contacts me and they want to have the whole conversation that we would have on the phone, they want to have it on the DMs. And I think it is very important nowadays that you know that that is very common. Used to be where a person goes to your social media page and they get the phone number or your email and then they say an email or give you a call. Nowadays it's just easier. They're already on your page, so then it's just easier to send you a DM. So with that said, um, there's a couple of people that I know that they don't allow clients to DM you. And I believe that by that you can be losing events. Not so much because they think, okay, well, she's so uptight that she's not going to reply to my email, but it's just easier. You have to meet your clients where they are at sometimes. And if it's easier for them to have a conversation on the DM, it's easier just to continue that conversation on the DM. And then if after that you want to move that conversation to a phone call, to a Zoom meeting, to an in-person consultation, then you can, but continue the conversation so that way you get to talk to them, you know what they're looking for, you can explain about your services, and then after that, then you can move that conversation somewhere else. A lot of people are getting DMs and it says, I want to know about how much you would charge for whatever service it is. And then you say, okay, yeah, go to my website and there's a link there for a contact form, fill it out, and then reach back to me. You already have the client there. It's like if you had a store and the client walks in and says, well, I want to know um about your services, and instead of responding to that client, you just go like, well, in the front door there's a form, fill out the questionnaire and then come back to me and then we'll talk. Like, why? They're already right there. So make sure that you continue the conversation, whatever they do, if it's a phone call, if it's an email, but more specifically, if it is on social media and they're already in your DMs, just continue the conversation. Maybe that's not the way that you work, maybe that's not your preference, but it is there. So after you have a conversation and after you already establish some kind of I'm not gonna say like back and forth negotiation because you're only letting them know about your services. But once you already establish somehow a conversation in between the two parties, then you can move that, like again, like I said, you can move it to an in-Zoom meeting, in-person meeting, Zoom, you can get a phone call, whatever it is, but answer the DMs. Do not sleep on that opportunity. And then after you have that, if they said, well, I saw your social media pictures and videos and reels, I want to know more about your services, then be prepared to either send them a slideshow, have a video on a different page, maybe YouTube, maybe um, a long form video that you have somewhere on your website, something that it attracts more your client, your specific client that you want to give services to. So that way it is much easier for you to catch their attention, to give them a quote or an estimate, and then to close the deal. But again, do not sleep on the opportunity of on just giving them information over the DM and then going from there. All right. And now another thing that I have seen that like social media is so complicated sometimes because you take an hour to make a reel and then you post the reel and it's only 30 seconds and it gets 3 likes. It happens to me, it happens to everybody. But it doesn't have to be that complicated. And I know it sounds weird, but it doesn't have to be. Or just looking at your page and it says, well, I only do linen rental. I only do tablecloths and napkins. I'm so tired of posting the same stuff over and over again. Or I just sit there staring at my phone and I don't know what to post. Well, I want to share a slide with you because there is a way in where you can not think or not have to think a lot about what you can post on social media. I'm going to share this real quick because there is a few pillars and where you can have things um, that are not repetitive. And even if they are, because you're doing it in certain sections, it's going to be much easier to share that information with your clients. So I want to share the content pillars of social media. If you are a designer, if you're a balloon artist, if you only do linen rental, if you only do desserts, you can still apply these, all your creations with this content pillar. So let's break the week into 5 days. And let's say that every day you use a different pillar of what you're going to use for your event. And let's say that in September, you only have one event. So of that one event, you can create content the whole month. And I know that you're going to say that's impossible, but it's actually possible. The ideal thing would be to have content for a lot of time, but for I mean, the ideal thing will have to be to have a lot of events so you can have contact for a long time, but it is not always feasible. We always go, especially in the winter months where there's not much going on. We cannot do that all the time. So let's say that you only have one event this month and you have to make sure that that event gives you content for the whole month. So you can break your week into 5 days, Monday through Friday. Let's say that you're not going to post Saturday and Sunday anything. So the first day is educational. So on Monday, you're going to put something educational about the services that you're providing. Let's say that you did a backdrop and then your client didn't tell you that behind the backdrop there was a tree if it is outdoors. So then you have to let your client know, okay, educate your client, let them know, well, okay, this time they didn't let me know that it was going to be a tree and I wasn't prepared, but this is how I would prepare for this the next time, or this is how I solve that situation, or this is how I would do if you have some kind of setup like this. So if you're educating your client to letting them know there are specific things that I need to know in advance before you book me, or while you book me, there are specific things that I need to know about where I'm going to put my backdrop, about the venue, about the type of celebration that we're doing, whatever it is. Okay, so you have your educational piece. And then the next day you want to have your promotional piece, which is like, okay, remember the backdrop that I gave you yesterday? Well, right now I'm going to say that for the month of September, if you book with us, you'll get this backdrop and then you get this balloon bouquet. like let's say that's a promotion that you have. It doesn't always mean you have to do discounts all the time, or that don't do discounts. That's another video that I'll link on here. But or that you're just giving away work. It means like talk about your services, make the sale. Promotional means making the sale. So in this day, like let's say Tuesdays, you talk about your offer, you talk about what you do. You don't necessarily have to say how much it costs. If you don't want to, you can give out a range. You can say my services start at X amount, or this specific client spend this amount, but it depends on what you want to have on your party. So promotional means talk about the services that you do and make the sale. And then entertainment. A lot of the people that go on social media, they want to be entertained. The only thing why the only thing why they do social media is because they just want to have some entertainment before they go to bed, when they come home from work, where they have a few minutes to spare, they just go on their phones and get entertained. So it could be something funny. If you like to do TikToks, like dancing TikToks, it can be like that. If you want to do trending reels, if you want to have voiceovers, specific stuff that you see that are going viral or that are just entertaining to you, it can be entertaining to your client. So funny videos about your things that happen at your events, things like that. Or it can be just showing your work. It could be just, I had this event, this backdrop was amazing, look at my work. And then you put a pretty picture, you do a reel with a nice song in the in the background, whatever it is. The client just wants to see what you have to offer. So that is the entertainment part. And then on Thursdays, you do inspirational. And that could mean a couple of things. The first one is like, okay, this beautiful quinceañera that I had last week, it can be the way that your beautiful quinceañera is going to be. This beautiful wedding that I did last month, this is how it can look. Or it can be, okay, now that the year is over, the colors of the next year are, people are saying that the colors are this and this, what will you choose? Or this is an inspiration that I have from a different vendor, or this designer, what do you think about it? Or this is something that I want to recreate. Who's the next client who's going to ask me for this because I really want to do that? So it's not necessarily things that you do yourself. It can be from somebody else, but just give them credit. Don't forget about that. And then let's say on Fridays you go personal. One of the things that I want to put emphasis on is that people want to know about you. Even though you're a business, even though they think that you probably have a team, you probably, even if you work by yourself, you probably have one person at least that helps you with everything. So, but they want to know about the business owner, or the manager, whoever is in charge of the business. So they want to know a little bit more about you. You can go personal, like what is your day-to-day life, or you can go personal that is still business related, meaning I started this business because I started this business at this age. When I started, this is how I did it. So specific things like that. Or you can just take them along with you for a day of work. Like, okay, today is Friday. I'm preparing for tomorrow's wedding. This is what I do the Fridays before a wedding. And so it is still personal because you show your face, hopefully, but then you can your client can see you, and they can see you work, and they can see the person behind the business, the face behind the business. So all of these are things, like I said, this is just an example. It's a Monday through Friday thing, but you can use it as often as you want or as little as you want. You can have the, like, maybe you don't do Monday through Friday, but maybe you do it in order and say, okay, today I have time, and Monday I do educational. I'm not gonna have time until Thursday to put something, so on my Thursday I'm gonna do promotional. So that way there is a thing that you can do every single day, or whenever you are expected, or you expect yourself to put some content out there in your page. And then Reels, stories, carousels, and posts, they do have a different way of working. So Reels are to attract followers. It's not necessarily to make a sale. The stories is to build community. So the people that are already following you, they have a specific thing on there that only people that follow you see, which is the stories. And you can share a lot more on here because they only are 24 hours long. Educational carousels are educational most of the time. It can also be promotional, because if you have some kind of sale, or if you want to have a specific, like let's say I want to do, if somebody asks you they want to do a boho chick birthday decoration, you can show them 5, 4, 7 ways to do it in a carousel post. But it's usually people use it to showcase their work with a story. And then post is just to showcase your work, and sometimes infographics. For example, an infographic that you can use is, after you sign your contract, this is what is going to happen. And then you break it up into 3 to 5 steps, so that way a client can see what they expect from you once you are showing them your work. So these things are, if you want to take a screenshot, I will advise to do that, because these things are going to help you so much on your social media. Before a person goes to your place, they want to know more about you. And then this is the know, like, trust funnel. If you Google it, you're gonna have some that have a specific one on here, like an extra step. But most of them is, they get to know you, who you are, then they get to like your work, they care about what you offer, your services, and if they trust you, that's when you can ask for the sale, and then that's when people buy. They already see the consistency that you have on your community. They already see that you fit into the target audience that you're looking for. They see all that you have to offer. They notice that you're authentic and you have values that are, and beliefs that are that align with what they're looking for. And after that, you can ask for the sale. These are the services that I offer, and this is what I can do for you. So with all of that, then you can ask for the sale and say, okay, my services are this much. Would you like to book the date? All right. So I wanted to make this because I have, let me check the dates here. Right now is September 4th. And let's get out of this one here, stop sharing. Right now is September 4th, and then we have an Instagram challenge, September 15th to the 20th. It's Instagram, I said Instagram challenge because that's what more of the vendors use, but you can use TikTok or any other social media platform that you like. So between September 15th and September 20th, we're going to have a challenge. And the challenge is for you not so much to do something every day and go viral. It's more likely so we can apply these pillars. All of the information that I just gave you is so we can apply these pillars of knowledge into social media content for a designer or a decorator in the event industry. And then after, you can see how your numbers change. You can see what worked and what didn't. Not every business is going to have the same, because not every business is located in the same place. And you guys, even though you're designers and decorators, you don't offer the same. Maybe you're only a balloon artist, like, not only, maybe you are a balloon artist that only does balloons, like not you don't offer any other services. Maybe you're a decorator that is all in-house, that you do linen, backdrops, draping, that you do a lot of stuff. So the numbers change per person, per business. And the thing that we have to see here is what worked and what you liked. If you like to do reels more, if you like to do more stories, if you like to do personal stuff. Some people try it and they think that it's amazing, I can share more about my life. And some people realize that it's not something that they want to share. So we are gonna do everything on, again, September 15th is the first date. You don't need to start that day, but it will be better to do it as a community. I will give you a daily prompt of what to do, and you will have 2 options on there. You have a prompt, and then you can do a couple of variations of that prompt. We're only gonna do it for 5 days, but we can go as long as 7. So you can do Monday through Sunday, and then you can see the difference in between how you have been posting stuff before then. So if you're interested about it, leave a comment here, and then I'll send you the information about the challenge, or you can just follow me on my Instagram page at oralia.ae, and then I'll link at everything here, and then hopefully we can find things that we like for social media, or if we have noticed that there's things that we can improve, we'll do that in between those days, the Instagram challenge. All right, if you have any questions, you can always reach me, leave a comment, subscribe, go to my Instagram and social media pages, and then we'll see you soon. Bye.